Welcome back to the Self-Esteem and Confidence Mindset podcast with me, Johnny Pardo. Today, I have a special guest with me. So welcome to the show, Misty.
Hello. Thank you so much, Johnny. I'm so excited to be here and chat with you. This is going to be fun.
I'm excited to talk with you as well. I know the value you give to our kind of community and the value you give to other people. So I know the listeners are in for a real treat today. So thank you so much for coming on. Awesome. So Missy will go into her story a little bit and what she's doing, but I'm just going to give a quick introduction to Misty. So Misty is a full-time entrepreneur, real estate investor, and a business and mindset coach with 5+ years of experience in wholesaling, flips, rentals, and new construction. She is extremely passionate about helping other women create a life and business filled with passion, positivity, and purpose. So that's always an awesome thing to be doing, Misty, and so many talents there. Don't know how you juggle it all. But yeah, tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are and your story a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have only been an entrepreneur for 5 years. It feels like 50, if I'm being very honest. It's been a very interesting 5 years. It's kind of a weird story how I got into it is I never actually thought I would be a business owner or in entrepreneurship. And my husband was always interested in starting his own real estate investing company. He's always been very interested in that. He worked in construction, grew up in construction, became a civil engineer. And I did HR and business management for the same company that we had both worked for. And we were both sick and tired of the rat race and working for somebody else and, working that 60, 70 hours a week and making somebody else rich. And he finally said, what if we try to do this on our own? And I was like, what? And I was always going to be very supportive of him doing it. And he ended up taking me to, one of those weekend seminars where they just got us and they painted this big, beautiful picture. And I basically saw so many aspects of where I could pull my knowledge and experience in human resources and business and help really grow this real estate investing business. And so then I said, okay, I'm all in. And so that was a little over 5 years ago. And we moved to Texas, which is where we are now. Great market to be in. Started investing and kind of started helping other women along the way, just organically. And obviously didn't have a program, wasn't charging. And it was just something I found myself extremely, extremely passionate about. I'm a big team player. And you don't find a lot of women real estate investors. You see a lot of women agents, realtors and agents, but on the investing side, it's very male dominated. And so I created a networking event for women in real estate in the Houston area of Texas. And we'd have 40, 60 women come a month and just created that community. And from that, then a program was created, which is called Her Mindset Matters REI group coaching program. And then from that, women started asking if they could work one-on-one with me. And I was like, man, I don't know how to grow a coaching business. So that's when I joined, the program where I met you, Johnny, and joined the Rob Dial and Business Breakthrough to help me really create a coaching business, to be able to be a good coach and structure a business around it. And now I've had the luxury and honor of coaching, 80 plus women at this point. And we're just growing together and building businesses together and working on our mindset, which is the number one thing that we find holds people back, not just in real estate investing, but being entrepreneurs or in life in general. And I really get to focus on this full time while my husband focuses on the real estate investing. I'm still involved, but I really found helping other people grow their businesses and their confidence is my number one passion. And it's really just been an amazing journey. So it's been a lot of fun and I'm excited to keep it going into 2022.
Awesome. Fantastic. So it sounds like a great journey and coming from the what you termed as the rat race at one point for you to, helping women really, really grow. So what are some of the main challenges you find for entrepreneurs when you're working with them?
Great question. It's so funny. I was just actually speaking about this I hosted an in-person networking event on this past Wednesday. And we talked about the 3 Ps, which are people pleasing, perfectionism, and procrastination. And one of the themes that came up was fear. Fear is the common denominator between all 3 of those.
Yeah.
And fear is what typically holds people back, is, can I really do this? What happens when I do succeed? What happens when I fail? What will people think? What if it's not perfect? So then all of that causes the procrastination, where then people just don't do anything. They dream about it. And I mean, I'm working with women that have wanted to get into real estate and real estate investing for 10 plus years. One woman that I'm working with, 15 years, she's been educating herself and wanting to do this. And finally now has pulled the trigger and feels, she has the support now to build the confidence and build the business. And it's like, why do we want another year to go by? But that fear, it takes a hold of you. And then 2, I think the overwhelm, the analysis paralysis. Where do I start? What do I do? How do I build a business? How do I manage the business? Can I do it all? A lot of the women that I coach are single moms with W-2s. They work full time, and they are still building successful real estate investing businesses on the side. One of my clients is working on her 6th rehab project, and she works full time and has kids. And so as long as you're structured and intentional, but people don't necessarily have those tools when they're going at it alone, and they don't know where exactly to find them and how to put them together. So I think the fear and the overwhelm are probably the 2 things, and then confidence, the lack of confidence that you can actually do it. Those are really the 3 reasons that women find me, because they've tried to do it on their own for so long and unfortunately weren't very successful in it. And then when we break it down, they have the knowledge. They actually you go on YouTube and learn anything these days, right? I have women telling me they're learning how to wholesale off TikTok. I'm like, what? But to be able to build the plan and implement it, correctly with confidence, and be intentional, and it's such a different animal. And that's where you'll see them just go, oh my gosh, like light bulbs go off. And then you'll see things that they tried for so long. We just tweak it. We do it a little bit different. And I provide support and guidance, and boom, they're talking to sellers, they're closing contracts, they have their first flip opportunity or whatever it is. It's pretty amazing once you can have those proper tools to get past the fear, the overwhelm, build the confidence, and really put a proper plan in place. Yeah.
No, that's a great answer. And I like what you said about, obviously, fear is the common denominator between the 3 Ps. And fear is often masked in so many different ways. We lie to ourselves pretty well to get away from fear as well. It's like, I can't be bothered, which can sometimes mean, it can mean you're just not bothered, but sometimes things like that can mean, you've just got the fear. And one of the things you picked up, and kind of a couple of inspirational examples I picked up then, was, these single mums with minimal time building their business. So I've always very struggle about this point, but what would you say to someone who wants to do something, but they claim they don't have time?
Don't we love when we hear that? And I mean, I'm guilty of saying it too, right? Yeah. It's like we all have the same 24 hours in the day. And, when you look at the statistics, I feel like I recently heard that people spend 4 hours a day watching TV and 2 hours a day on their social media, on their phones. That's 6 hours in one day that you could be building a business, that you could be learning a new skill, that you could be spending time on bettering yourself or your relationships or whatever. So when people say they don't have time, that's a whole lot of BS, basically, is what it is. It's being intentional with your time. Even if you really truly only have an hour a day to spend on your real estate investing business, well, let's make that the most productive hour that you have. And then there's that difference between productive versus busy. I have actually taken the word busy out of my vocabulary. I do not say that I'm busy anymore, because busy is actually bad. I want to be productive with my time. And then I'm also allowed, when I do that, later today, my husband and I were going to go get pedicures. Normally I would feel guilty about that because I was busy all day and maybe didn't get actual things done. I was just doing a lot of stuff. But I'm like, no, I've been productive, with my day, with my week. Absolutely, I'm going to go enjoy myself for a little bit and not feel guilty at all. When we're productive, we get more things done in a shorter span of time to move the needle forward to get actual results. But people don't understand the difference between busy and productive. And I think people too, just when it comes down to making the time for it, you really have to be dedicated. And when I get in deep with my coaching clients, which just happened yesterday, it was like, I'm busy, but are you really? Like, is this truly something that you want? Because you're not taking the actions. Let's actually go through your day and let's see how you're spending your time. And they get real nervous when they have to tell me how they're spending their time, because it's usually not very productively. And we can't complain about results that we didn't create. So, you either really want this or you don't, and you do have to, make some sacrifices. But when you put a proper plan in place, man, does it make a world of a difference when you manage your time, when you time block, when you, whatever it is that works for you. There is so much that you can get done in just 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, and you can feel 10 pounds lighter. And actually, in progress, any progress, even a little bit, is better than just going, oh, I don't have enough time. That's only an hour. I'm going to, sit here and Netflix instead. You know how much you can get done in an hour? Oh my goodness. Like, I can get so much done in an hour to help build my businesses and help my clients. So people just make excuses. That's what I call it. It's a big fat excuse. So I love calling them out on it too. It's so much fun.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the term, someone introduced to me years ago, but it only kind of really came like evident like in the last couple of years in particular for me, was the word, it's a priority. Try saying it's not a priority out loud as well. And I started saying that of things. I'm like, haven't got time to watch Netflix, and it's like, I'm right, it's not a priority right now. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And it'd be like, but then like you said, we can catch ourselves like now and then. You'd obviously use the word busy, but now and then thinking, catching yourself not doing something you should. And it's like, I just didn't see it as a priority then, but it is a priority. So actually that shift in the mind can help. So I love how you put that one. So that's awesome. So with the fear we were talking about previously, is it something you see at all levels of people, the kind of the fear, regardless of whether they're at the beginning of their real estate investing or they're at a high level, or not just, in real estate in general? Is that something you experience all levels of people?
Yes, absolutely. It's so funny that you say that, because I'm literally just been chatting with a woman. She reached out to me today through Facebook, and has seen, some of the stuff that I've posted through her Mindset Matters. And she knows a couple of we call ourselves a tribe, and she knows a couple of our tribe members, and she's actually experienced. She's done flips in 4 or 5 different states that she listed. And she is feeling stuck. She is feeling fear. She is feeling like she needs better support, a better community, better resources. So you can be experienced and still feel the fear. We just had a woman join on Wednesday night. She's done 2 flips. She started her journey in 2018 and is stuck. She's feeling fear. She wants to work on mindset, right? So every level, that you're at, and this is one thing we actually learned in the Kaizen Mastermind. Rob's Kaizen Mastermind is this transformation cycle that we go through. And when we hit a peak level, that's when you're like on cloud 9, everything's going amazing, life is good, business is good. You go back to the first phase, which is confusion, because you just leveled up. And you're going, oh my God, am I ready for this? Can I handle this? What is this going to entail? And we go into this cycle, and it used to scare the crap out of me when I'd hit the confusion phase, right? Or stage. And now I'm like, oh, this is me leveling up. How freaking beautiful is that? And now I talk myself through it. I give myself grace to figure it out, because every time we level up in our businesses or in our life, new challenges are going to come our way, right? So we have to understand how to navigate those, because if we already were the person that we needed to be to navigate it, we'd already have that, right? So it's like, what is this teaching me? What opportunity is this providing for me? What do I need to focus on here? And one of the things that I discovered over the last year was I was hitting I was stuck a couple times. And it was this fear of success, believe it or not. It wasn't a fear of failure. It was a fear of success. Can I handle taking on these clients? Can I handle running this business? I'm about to be a new mom in May. Can I handle that? Can I really take all of this on and just like go and be 110% like I always want to be? And I absolutely can. And now I'm more excited than I've ever been with all of the beautiful things that are coming. My businesses are booming more than they ever have. I don't feel any anxiety. I don't feel any stress because I've worked through that. Now, am I going to hit the confusion stage again and again and again? Well, I sure as hell hope so, because that means I'm leveling up every single time. So it's really understanding every person's journey and where they are to help them navigate through the confusion stage to then get through to momentum and get back up to the peak. And it's just this beautiful cycle that we used to think was the scariest thing ever. And now that I'm aware of it, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And so obviously I share it with my clients and we work through it together. And it's just such a different way to look at, the fear of whatever it is that's coming in front of you. Because everything new, exciting, challenging, of course, it's going to be scary. It's going to be uncomfortable because it's new, it's exciting, it's challenging. But we can either look at it in that way, or we can look at it as, oh my gosh, this is an opportunity for me to really like step into this beautiful person and experience this and build this life, build this business, build this relationship, whatever it is that I haven't had yet and that I want, because we're obviously doing the things to get there, but we have to know how to navigate the journey and embrace the journey and not just worry about the destination. That's another thing that we focus on. So it's, but yes, you will feel fears at all levels. I still feel fears, but now I embrace them instead of let them hold me back, which is game changer, absolute game changer for sure.
Yeah. No, that's a great share. And I love what you shared about the circle as well. And yeah, it's almost like a point of, you could see it as excitement. This is going to be a breakthrough soon. Like I'm at this confusion phase. It's coming around again. Or you can see it like in the negative way, like, it's overwhelming, it's stressful. Don't want to do this anymore. So yeah, I love the way you said that. And yeah, I'm also glad you shared about like the fears that we all kind of have it. I've even, you're sometimes our role models you can hear and they're like, yeah, I have fears too. I've heard like Dean Graziosi is one of the best marketers in the world. Like say it, like I've got imposter syndrome. It's like, how many events of these has he done? It's just,
yeah, exactly. He's a real person. He's a real person with, I mean, we all have blood and you know what I mean? We're all, and I think too, that's one of the reasons, I don't actually think I know because I asked that question, but when you can share in those sorts of things, look how you relate to him and how you respect him. And I am all about being very open, very honest, very genuine. I don't just talk about the successes in my businesses. I talk about the tough times a lot because I want these women to understand that I've been there. I know what they're feeling and I've been through it. And so I want to help them navigate it. You know what I mean? And I've had coaches and mentors that helped me navigate through my journey. And so when you share that, because a lot of times in my specific industry, it's all about money and financial freedom. And you can do this overnight. You don't have to have any knowledge. And they make it look so easy and so attainable. And you're just going to get rich quick overnight. And so when the women try to do that and it doesn't happen because that's not how it works, they clearly, oh, there's something wrong with me, right? I'm not doing this right. And they beat themselves down. So then when they hear it from a different perspective of somebody who's actually telling the honest truth about their journey over the last 5 years, like it's been the hardest 5 years of my life, but it's also been the most beautiful 5 years of my life. Then they're like, oh my gosh, okay, Misty gets it. Like I can relate to her. I can, learn from her. I can feel properly supported by her. And that's one of the things that I take the most pride in is that my honesty in this journey. It has not been easy by any means, but I wouldn't change anything about it because I've learned so much about myself, and I'm a better business owner in person because of it. And now I'm a better coach. I can provide way better support to these women because I've been through it all, good, bad, and everything in between. And that's amazing. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah, certainly. And you would you say you get quite a lot in your, when you're coaching people, of people comparing themselves to other people? Is that quite a frequent thing?
Oh, yes. Don't we love social media? Oh, I have a love-hate relationship with social media. I love it because, like the live that I did today actually was on fear, believe it or not. So crazy. The world works. Love the universe, but it was on fear. And, I'm able to get that message out there via social media to reach a lot of people, right? Which is beautiful. But there's also that negative where people then go on social media and most people only post the wins. And look at how much money I made, and look at how amazing I am, and look how many deals I've closed. But they don't post the struggles in their journey, or that maybe they got 10 contracts that month, but only half of them closed, but they're only focused on the 5 contracts that closed. They didn't talk about the other 5 that fell through, right? So yes, absolutely comparing yourself. And I was guilty of it as well. When we first got started, I was like, I'm supposed to be further along, comparing myself. Everybody has their own beautiful journey, and every step of the way is unfolding in the way that it's supposed to teach you lessons, to expose you to things good and bad, so that you can learn and grow from them. And I see that so clearly now, especially now that I'm a coach, because I'm like, oh, I went through all that crap so that I can help other women not go through that, right? Or cut their learning curve. It just is so clear to me. But it's really difficult when we see all the fame, fortune, and just, amazingness on social media when you're struggling. It's you want to be happy for people, but then you're like, why am I not there? And then you give up. Or what, and no, you don't want to give up on our dreams, but that is typically what happens. So yes, that is a huge topic that comes up constantly in our program, is do not compare yourself to others. Understand your current circumstances, understand your journey is beautiful, and embrace it, and be present in it, and learn and grow from it. And it really helps them stop and really understand, okay, I am a single mom. I don't have 8 hours like Misty does, 8+ hours. I've been working in my business a lot lately because there's been so much amazing stuff going on. But I don't have, 8 hours, for example, like Misty does, to work full-time on her business. So why should I expect to be where she is? Or she's been doing this 5+ years and I've only been doing this 5 weeks, So it really helps them stop and think about their own, current circumstances. And then we talk a lot about looking back. I encourage them all to journal. I give them journaling prompts all the time, because one thing that I've done when I'm hard on myself, which we all are, we're overachievers for a reason, is look back. How far have I come in the last month, year, 5 years? And when I go back and look, I am blown away at the person that I was and the person that I am now. And the gratitude of that is like mind blowing. It will make every doubt that I have in myself, every frustration, every worry, every whatever that I'm feeling in that moment, basically go away, because I'm like, oh, I figured it out many times. And I've been in much harder situations than what I'm feeling right now. This is going to be a piece of cake. Like, I am now the person that can handle this situation much better than I was 5 years ago, right? And so we need to look back at that and really truly see how far we've come, because again, we focus so hard on the destination. Well, I want to grow $1 million real estate investing business. Well, why don't we just focus on the $10,000 that you made this month in closing a wholesale deal and celebrate that? But they don't want to, because nope, $1 million, $1 million, $1 million, whatever it is. We just get so laser focused on the destination that we do not enjoy the journey. And man, if you stop and smell the freaking roses, it's just I've been doing a lot of that lately, is just being very present. And it is such a beautiful, beautiful thing to embrace. And it makes you so grateful for how far you've come and where you're going. And it creates clarity also, where I can just see more clearly where I'm going, where your goals can change. When I started real estate investing, my goals were nothing like they were now. But if I was so focused on the destination, I probably would have never got there because, life happens and markets shift and change and businesses shift and change. And so you really have to just be present in your own journey. Otherwise, you're going to miss everything. And that would suck a lot.
Very, very true. Yeah. It's about who you become as well in the process rather than necessarily that end point. So yeah, and I really enjoyed what you said about reflecting back as well, because often we forget that. And yeah, there's it's a human tendency, of course, to pick out the faults to cut and the negatives. So it's really important to train that, and I give a specific exercise to all my clients personally on that just trains their brain to start searching for the great stuff about them. But yeah, the other thought I was kind of thinking when you popped up there, obviously you can compare yourself to other people and can be challenging, but sometimes when we're like entrepreneurs or we're going into a new like venture like real estate, I mean, you and your husband went into like trying something which is fantastic, could support each other. But sometimes people want to go into something new and they might not necessarily have that support around them, or the people around them just don't have the same views. They're not quite in the same headspace. Is this something you encounter quite often?
Yes. Like I said, the majority of the women that I'm working with are single moms. They don't have a spouse or significant other along with them on the journey. Most of their family and friends think they're crazy, and that is one thing that they are seeking, is a community, is especially because it is not as common. It is getting way more common, by the way, which is amazing. But 5 years ago, I would see one or two women, sometimes including myself, at the networking events that I was attending, and now I see so many women, and now we have women only events, and women only coaching programs and whatnot. And what that really can provide is a safe space for these women to feel what they need to feel. It is a different journey for women, especially if you are a mother. It just is. It's just different. And I think that's okay to say that. It's supposed to be different for everybody, but we're emotional creatures. We're more emotional than men. Men are more logical. There's certain things, especially in the program that we provide, there's a reason it's called Her Mindset Matters, REI, real estate investing, is because men could probably go and watch YouTube videos and execute, and it's very just straightforward, logical. Women, we love to overthink everything. We love to question everything. We love to analyze everything, right? And so when we understand that about ourselves, and one of the things that I teach about is how to create a CEO mindset, how to look at things logically instead of emotionally, because if you make decisions in your business emotionally, those usually don't work out so well. So we want to be making them logically. And so if you're not surrounded by people that understand this and that are also doing this and building plans and making decisions logically, it's very difficult to go down that path by yourself, right? And there's just something about being a part of a community of like-minded, just individuals in general. And I really truly believe what we hear, you are the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So if you're surrounding yourself with, whether they're family, friends, close, not, whatever, and they're saying, oh, you can't do this, and what are you thinking? You're crazy, and there's no way you're going to achieve. Well, what do you think that's doing to your psyche? But if then you become part of a tribe, community, program where it's the opposite of, we don't really accept, talk like that. This is something you truly want. Let's make it happen. And this is how. And we're actually doing a property tour tomorrow of two of my coaching clients. They have projects in the Galveston area of Texas. We're going to go look at 4 of their projects, and we have about 20 women going, and they are so excited to all be together and going and looking at these projects of these women that are killing it, that are living their dream. One is doing real estate investing full time now. The other one is the one that is working on her 6th rehab while having a full-time job. To see other women that have started where you've started succeed like that, it is firing these women up. They are so excited, especially the new ones that just joined the program that's launching January 12th. What better way to start off your new year than to see other women that have gone through the same program you're about to go through, that are battling the same things you are, succeeding and loving it and sharing in their journeys. It's one of the most beautiful things to be a part of. And I know for myself in my own personal growth and development and in businesses and in life, I've joined many communities and I've had many coaches. And that is the only reason I am successful in life and in business, is because I've had the community, I've had the support. It's made a world of a difference. And to be able to provide that for others is an absolute dream come true. So yes, it is so, so important to have that community and have that support to really, truly feel like you can make your dreams a reality.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always say, obviously it's really important to do the internal work and validate yourself and work on your own mindset in that way. But if you're constantly bombarded with an environment that's bringing you down, it's going to be very hard and probably not sustainable, to be honest. So that's why it's important to find the right people like you provide in your community, or whether it's any community where people have got similar interests. And I know we're part of an amazing community, fortunately, as well, where you've got people on different levels, but all supporting each other, all giving different advice, which is awesome. So one of my final question, it kind of links a little bit with throughout our conversation, but obviously in the area you work in, people or women are going to invest in themselves or invest into, properties and things like that. But what would you say is your general advice for someone in investing in themselves?
It's the smartest, most valuable investment that you will ever make. And that comes from a real estate investor where, you can make a lot of money investing in real estate, but this is the thing. If you chase the money, you won't achieve it. Right. And that's what I've learned about investing in myself. Especially over the last couple of years where I've focused more on internal versus learning, external type things. I've really done a lot of work internally, and I've seen my businesses explode because I've done the internal work, and it's just kind of flowing naturally into how I show up in my businesses and how I show up for my clients and how I show up in my relationships. And the last year has definitely been the best year of my life, hands down. Just game changer. And I'm saying that during a time of COVID and pandemic and just, craziness and market shifts. And it's truly the mindset. And we're all 100% responsible for our own journeys, for our own lives. And when you invest in yourself, that's saying to yourself, I believe in you. Yeah. You can do this, right? It is literally the best investment. And my husband and I will always have a fund, where that we put, we listen to Darren Hardy. He has a Darren Daily. And one of the things his mentor taught him was, take 10% of what you earn every month or year, I can't remember, and put it in a fund. And that's what you use to invest in yourself, right? Or I think it was 10% of every profit that you make on everything, and you put it. And so then you always have this little, nut or whatever that you can take and then invest in yourself. Because if you don't, and you're just going and trying to do all things without doing the internal work, it's going to be very difficult for you to succeed. There's so much in here and up here that holds us back, which we've already spoken a lot about. And if you don't tap into that, it is going to be so difficult to create, the business, the life, the relationship, whatever it is. Because if you're just going through the motions, that's not going to get you anywhere. So investing in yourself is absolutely the best investment you can make. And that's what I encourage anybody that's, well, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. Well, let's make a way for you to afford it. Let's talk about that. I offer payment plans. I've structured very unique, because I never want, if somebody truly feels like the service or value that I provide can help them, I never want finances to get in the way, right? But I think we automatically jump to that. Well, it costs money, so no, I'm not interested. Well, then how important is this to you? And the craziest part is we spend tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars on a college education without blinking a freaking eye. And guess how many people get their degree, don't do anything with it, go into a job that they're miserable at, and then spend their days go, when can I retire? When can I retire? When can I retire? Right? But then when you ask them to spend $1,000 on this or $5,000 on that and investing in themselves, oh, no, oh my gosh, no way. There's no way I could do that. And that's in creating a life and business for them, not for somebody else. It blows my mind. And so I always bring it back to that. It's like, remember when you spent, how much money did you spend on your college education? And now you're coming to me wanting to leave your W-2 and create this beautiful business that you want to make $1 million in, which is absolutely possible, but you don't want to spend any money to help you do that? What? You know? And it's like a light bulb goes off and they're like, oh my gosh, I never thought about it in that way. Why do we invest in those sorts of things or go buy fancy purses or cars or whatever, which is fine if that's what you want to do, but then don't turn around and say you don't have money to invest in yourself, and don't expect it to happen overnight. That's another thing. You go to college for 4+ years and you don't become a CEO of a company the day you graduate college. So why would you then expect to know everything that there is to know about being an entrepreneur, a month into starting your own business? We have to invest in ourselves, and we have to allow the time for us to learn the business. It's very different going from being an employee to somebody to being an entrepreneur. And that was something that was a hard slap in the face for us. It was like, we climbed the corporate ladder. We did very well. This will be easy. We have construction experience. We got this. Oh my gosh. Huge learning curve. And a lot of it was just being an entrepreneur, But we invested in a program right when we started real estate investing. I have zero regrets. We've invested in numerous programs for our businesses, for our personal growth and development. And I can hands down say that is the smartest, best investments we have ever made. And we will continue to do that because of the people that we have become and the businesses that we have built. That would not have happened without that. So if you have nothing else to invest in, or you even have $100, start putting that away every month, every week, whatever it is, and use that to invest in yourself, because that will be an investment you will never, ever, ever regret. For sure.
Yeah, I've heard similar advice from Harv Eker as well, and he said it's very similar words. I kind of used Tony Robbins's way of investing. You put like 10% in a security fund, 10% in a growth fund, 10% in the dream bucket, but he also talks about putting that money into your personal growth as well. And Harv Eker. So there's obviously success leaves clues, and when these people killing it are saying it, that's always a good sign. So thank you for sharing that one. I think it was Warren Buffett who said what you said. So you ought to think you're the same way with Warren Buffett.
Oh, hey, I'm cool with that. We're both from Nebraska too. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's the Midwest Nebraska way of thinking.
Yeah. He said the best investment you can make is in yourself as well. So
absolutely. Oh my gosh, cannot stress it enough.
A multi-billionaire. So that's a pretty extreme statement to pay attention to. If a multi-zillionaire, I don't know.
Probably by now. Who knows?
Anyway, so yeah, that's obviously really, really great advice. So Misty, it's been a great conversation with you, and you shared so much value. So are there any other final points that perhaps we haven't covered that you'd like to share today?
So one thing I always like to mention, and this actually is perfect because we were just talking about investing in yourself. So one of the things I very much encourage all of the women that I'm speaking to before they decide to work with me or not is, vet the people, the programs, all of that, that you're looking into. Don't just join them because they're going to teach you how to get rich quick, right? Or whatever it is. I really, really encourage you to hop on a phone call with them. And if they won't do that with you, how much support do you really think you're going to get, and get a feel for who they are. Because what I've found is when you have coaches and mentors that you can relate to and that you respect and then have built businesses that idolize, that you can really, say similar core values, similar mission statements, or if you're looking for a life coach or something, somebody who's living what you want to be living, then you are much more prone to actually show up to your coaching sessions, take it seriously, do the work. One of the things I always say when I'm talking about my programs is you have to decide if this is right for you. I will not push this program on you, because if you decide it's not, cool. Like, I hope you find someone and a program that is, right? Because you have to really feel like this program is what you're looking for. Maybe you joined other programs, which many of the women that I work with have joined many other programs, and there were missing pieces. So that's the first thing that we talk about. What was missing in that program? What support did you not receive? Because I want to make sure we're providing that here. And if we're not, maybe I can direct you, to another program or another coach or mentor. I never just want to take on a client to take on a client. I really want them to feel like it's a good fit both ways, right? Yeah. So I always like to bring that in, because I don't feel like that's discussed enough. It's, you vet your real estate deals freaking like crazy because you want them to be a success. You want them to make you money. Why aren't you doing the same thing when you're making an investment into your personal growth development, business growth development? You should be vetting them just the same. So that being said, I'm opening the invitation to anybody listening to this. If you want to chat with me about the programs that I offer, we do have our next Her Mindset Matters REI group coaching program launching January 12th. So that's next week.
Which is my birthday, everybody, as well.
Hey, there we go. Happy birthday. Perfect. You want to join our, oh wait, no, you're not. But there we go. Well, happy birthday, Johnny. I love it. So for Johnny's birthday, we're launching this program. So we do have a few spots open there. So if you're curious and want to know more about that program, about what our tribe is like, what we cover in the 8 weeks that we're together, absolutely reach out. I also do offer one-on-one coaching. Some people have done the group, it didn't quite work for them, or maybe they're ready to level up and they want to really dig in one-on-one with somebody. A lot of the women will go through my group coaching and then say, hey, Misty, I'm ready to work one-on-one with you. And we really go in, deep on the business, just the two of us. So if that's something you're interested in, learning more about, just reach out to me. You can find me. I'm starting to be on Instagram a little bit more. I think it's just at Misty Flanagan. Gosh, I should know that, right? I'm definitely on Facebook. That's where I connect with pretty much all the women that I'm working with. So you can find me on Facebook as well. Misty Flanagan. We have a Her Mindset Matters REI Facebook page. And then we have our actual website, which is www.hermindsetmattersrei.com. So you can find us, in any of those places. But again, reach out, ask the questions, and let's talk about what type of support you're looking for, to make sure, working together is what really makes sense for you. And I'm welcome to that. I love those conversations. I'm actually going to get on a call with a woman that is interested in working together right after this. And I'm super, super excited about it, because I want to know about these women. I want to know what their goals are. I want to know if I can support them and how, and also if they're ready to commit, because I don't just want to work with anybody that's like, oh, I'll throw you money. Like, you got to be ready to go in deep. You got to be ready to do the work, and show up, for yourself and for this business. Otherwise you're wasting my time, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money. So, I take this very seriously, as you can tell. And because of that, I've seen success, and so have my clients. But I would love to chat with any women out there that are possibly interested in learning more about the group coaching or the one-on-one coaching that I provide.
Brilliant. Sounds fantastic. It would definitely take Misty up on that. If you're listening and you feel even slightly like it might be for you, see if it's the right fit. And if you keep overthinking things, they're not going to change. So absolutely reach out. And what we'll do, we'll provide all the links to Misty's pages and social media in the description today as well. So thank you once again, Misty, for coming on. It's been brilliant and a great conversation with you. So thank you.
Thank you so much. This has been a blast. So let's definitely do it again soon. And I mean, the more conversations we have about these sorts of things, the more people that we can reach, the more people that we can help. I mean, we only have one life to live. So we got to make the most of it. Not even the most of it. Let's make the best of it, you know? So I appreciate this opportunity and chatting with you. And thank you for what you do and helping people, you know, achieve their, you know, dream life and go for their goals. So we got to keep doing what we do, Johnny.
Yeah, totally, Misty. All right. Thank you. So that concludes our episode today. And remember, work on your self-confidence every single day.